Good morning, almost afternoon on this very odd, rainy June day. So I'm going to invite you on a meditative gardening hangout with me. It's not going to be all that much to look at because I'm not prepping the shots. I'm just going to harvest and have the camera on and do the best so that you can see what I'm harvesting. My channel is not fancy. It's for just kind of experiencing, sharing the experience of my life. And since there's gardening and a lot of healthy food in my life, I figured there might be some people who'd be curious to see that if it appeals to you. So here we go. I'm gonna harvest. I'm gonna hang out. It's rainy, so let's see how far we can get. It's very light drizzle. Trying to get a little progress before it rains more. Let's see. So yeah, what I'm gonna do here, I thought I was gonna sit, but maybe not. Maybe I'll kneel. This is a cool kneeler bench. All right. So I got my clippers. I got a bucket with water, Tupperware with water, and I'm gonna harvest some red Russian kale right now. Just taking some big leaves. Now, I have a lot of respect for farmers. Large scale, small scale, whether they're organic or not, I have a lot of respect because growing, I see so many issues with pests. I have to check every leaf that I pick if I want to really feel like not worried later when I bring it into the house. And here you go. There's pests have eaten through. I don't even like to call them pests, but insects have eaten through, maybe left their mark, but nothing that I can't live with. I basically try to brush them off. Is it the Buddhist in me? Is it the hypersensitive person that I am? The empath? I just really don't want to kill bugs if I can help it. So I do my best. But the truth is I grow food so that I could eat it. And if the bugs eat it, I'll just take out the plant and throw it out anyway, and then they're not going to be able to survive. So I don't know if I'm really saving them by letting them devour the plant. You know, I'm not sure. So they get to eat while it's growing, and then when I harvest, I ask them to leave. That's basically how it goes. And if I didn't plant it, they wouldn't get to eat it, right? So these will look pretty good. And if I don't get out early enough to harvest, sometimes the bug insect infestation is too much on these beautiful leaves, that it makes it kind of a problem, or at least unpleasant, makes it feel kind of like it wasn't worth it. So what I'm doing here, it's a little tedious. I'm laying out leaves by size. I'm going to rubber band them together. So that's how I get this kind of like bouquet effect of my harvests, which some people have commented on my post saying looks like a centerpiece. Thank you for the comment. Wasn't really on purpose, but I do, believe it's important to make food look appealing, and it is alive. So to treat it like a flower only makes sense to me. So I'm harvesting a lot because these grow. There's some plants that are called cut and come again, you may know, and kale is definitely one of them. Okay, so I'm gonna get some of this red Russian kale over here. See if you can still see me. So I've been growing 3 main varieties of kale. Red Russian kale, which is quite hardy. Not too bad with insects, but you know, it's definitely can be an issue. And then dino kale, which is I guess the more traditional one you tend to see in supermarkets. That looks a little like dinosaur skin. And then something called Ethiopian kale. Okay, so I got some buggers on here, just kind of sliding them off, trying not to squash them. Will they find another plant to feast on? Very likely, but I just don't like killing. Doesn't make sense to me. If I can avoid it. Of course I've killed insects in my life. Okay, so now I got this bunch here, a rubber band, a little twisty twist, and that's red Russian kale. I'm gonna put that in here. I'll show this. So I just put that in the bucket there. For these larger pieces, I'm gonna also group them together so I get the stem the same, touching the same bottom. And then you got this nice harvest of kale going. Next we're going to Swiss chard. I think you could still see right here. Yeah, okay, you can see. These kneelers are great. I do have knee pain. I'm 42 and it's not a complaint, it's just telling you that I do. So these kneelers help. So this has a lot of, looks like could be leaf miner. Some got to it. If a bug ate it and it's just holes, it usually doesn't bother me, but when it's discolored, I'll just throw it out, and I won't compost that because that I don't want to perpetuate the bugs, you know, accidentally, the insects. I don't want to encourage them. I don't want to kill them, but I don't want to encourage them. I'm putting this over here for now. That was 2 smaller Swiss chard leaves. Now I'm going for some biggies. And I do 1 leaf at a time because I want to check it. So this one has some bugs, insects, and some curling, which usually could mean, not always, could mean it's hiding some eggs. This doesn't seem to be. No. So there's different reasons for curling. I don't know all of them, but one of them is its eggs make it curl. Yeah, this has a little bit of issue at the top. So this won't make my bouquet look so beautiful, but it's definitely worth eating. Yeah, so that's another thing. The food we see in supermarkets generally looks quite good. And I don't know how they do that. Obviously, there are people who dedicate their lives to, you know, delivering living food, but for me, to be truly earth-friendly and honest and use as little pesticides as possible and sell to a mass market seems impossible to me with the methods I'm aware of. I don't know how we could do that. I have hope we can, of course. I believe there's enormous amounts of information we don't know about the body and the earth system, but so I don't blame people for not being organic, because farming is such labor-intensive stuff, and with so few guarantees, unless you get something like your government's going to guarantee it, and if you get the boost from chemicals and stuff. I'm definitely not for that. I just can't blame people who feel that they have to go that route. That's all I'm saying. And I do eat plenty of canned food. I always try to look for no salt or sugar added, but that's not organic. And you know, human body is pretty resilient. So organic, is it better? I would say yes. But is it necessary? Clearly no, not necessary. You know, I'm sure many of our ancestors never ate organic. But many of them probably did though, right? If they were farming their own food. Depending how many generations you go back. So this part of our meditation is enjoying the sounds in the neighborhood, like that. I don't know what that is. Lawnmower or saw? I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, sometimes I just see these eggs planted here. It looks like a little bit of fleck of silver paint. It's no big deal. Okay, so I got as much Swiss chard as I can. Yeah, just hanging out here, getting some Swiss chard. Yeah, I'm gonna do a tall Swiss chard and a shorter Swiss chard. Now, when you look at the garden, you don't think there's that much food, maybe, but when you take the time and harvest intentionally with care, you can come up with quite a bit of edible greens. Now, this isn't going to last for weeks, but it could last for a few days, you know, depending on, and it's, you know, of course we need to supplement with our starchy foods and so much else, but to not have to buy greens at the supermarket, right? That's kale and Swiss chard, which one fell to the bottom here, but it's in there. So I got 4 little bunches so far. I'll leave that kind of at the top for you to see. You know, I think this way of life is worth it. I'm gonna just move it a little bit so you can see the collard greens. And I'm not sure if the kneeler is helping my back. So it's also true that, like I said, labor intensive. So I understand why people using machines and whatever. This is not easy work. I can imagine if you're doing fields of this stuff. Well, I can't imagine actually. But I could certainly see why they say farmers work from dawn till dusk. It's just takes so much energy. So anyway, the point is to respect our food, and that when we eat food without appreciation for all the work that goes into it from people, plus the energy of the sun and the water and the plant and all the insects that help to make these things possible. Yes, some insects are pests, but many of them they're all part of the life cycle, and many of the insects are very beneficial. So to the plant, so this is real life, you know. I don't edit because I don't want to pretend that my life isn't like this. I guess I have to stop too loud then. the idea. Bucket of greens for in about 20 minutes, 15 minutes of harvesting. Not too bad. Okay, be well. See you next time.